If the stars were made to worship, so will I.
Week 50, Day 2. We press on through God's plan of salvation. And why? What does this have to do with healing? Well, we've already shown that healing for believers is part and parcel of the atonement of Jesus Christ on the cross. That is the focal point of the universe. But I think it's beneficial to see just how humankind got to that point, because this helps us to believe in the providence of goodness and righteousness of God, who laid out this beautiful plan before the foundations of the world. Revelation 13:8. We're joining God's chosen instrument to reveal that plan. Yet, children of Israel, as they are set free from 430 years, yes, it was originally supposed to be 400 years, of sojourning in Egypt, as slaves for most of that time. They leave healthy and prosperous with the actual blessing of the Egyptians. Look at this. Now the children of Israel had asked from the Egyptians articles of silver, articles of gold, and clothing. May I just interject here that this sounds just like my stepdaughter. And the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. Yep, my stepdaughter. Exodus 12:35 through 36. Wow, what a God. His children went from being poor slaves to rich freemen overnight. And they headed out, enveloped by the grace of God, who went before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now get this. They were not redeemed, yet they were not forgiven. Their sin debt hadn't been paid yet, but it didn't have to be, not then. Remember what we pointed out before? That at this time in human history, humankind's sin was not being imputed against them. Paul explains this in Romans chapter 5. This would all change at Mount Sinai, which we are dangerously close to on our journey. But for now, God is going to extend pure, unmerited grace on his people, just like now, right? Oh no, it's not the same as the grace extended to us, which we approximate by faith is just as Jesus Christ paid our sin debt for us. So we can fully approximate and live in that grace, but that was not the case with the unredeemed children of Israel 3,400 years ago. They would not know how to handle that grace, as we shall see tomorrow. This would be an important lesson for the universe to see. God couldn't just look the other way and ignore the sin problem. Let me end this morning with that little phrase of mine that I find helpful in understanding all this. If the sin debt has not been paid, grace is ineffective.